This, my friends, is the much anticipated by me. I've been absolutely chomping at the bit for this NORTENT LY 1. Now, this is just a quick look in the garden because tonight I'm camping in the NORTENT LY 2. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Pretty beefy package. NORTENT say this is 40 by 20 pack size. I make that 48 by 20, yeah, that's fine. A little bit longer than they say. Let's have a little look what the overall weight is, the whole package together. NORTENT say the max weight is 2.65 kilos, but I've got 3.5 there, but there's some extras in the bag, so let's have a look what's going on. So it's a decent bag, nice drawstring, good tough material, reflective grab handle at the bottom, kind of expedition ready. So in here we have pegs and a fairly comprehensive repair kit with extra guys, inner tent repair kit, outer tent repair kit, and a manual, and some elastic and an extra zipper pole there. So that's really good to include that, and that all fits nicely in the side pocket of the peg bag here. There's a pretty beefy included footprint and a separate bag for it. So let's take those out and we'll weigh those separately. That footprint and the spares bag weighed 550 grams. So this is the inner and outer tent together, weighs 2.1 kilograms. The poles weigh 420 grams and the pegs weigh 370 grams. So that's 800 grams, so I make that overall around 2.8 kilos. So this is coming out about the same as the Vern 1 in terms of weight. So what we'd expect is a robust tent with plenty of space, and I think that's what we're going to get. I make that 22 of the usual really tough, I think these are 15 centimeters long, NORTENT pegs, really tough these. They attract dirt like the proverbial SH1T to a blanket, but they're really tough and clean up pretty quickly. So I like these pegs, not too savage on your hand as well, and a nice peg that's in the same heavy denier as the footprint here, which will, here's the footprint, which represents considerable real estate. You sleep this way across in this tent. I'm 185 centimeters or 6'1", and looks like there's going to be plenty of space. This is a pretty heavy footprint, taped and reinforced in each corner as well. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a double elastic at each reinforced corner, so you could pitch it long or short. So here are the poles, and there's two poles. That's 44 centimeters, and this time they are 9.5 millimeter, and I think they are 0.7 millimeters thick on the wall. They really look very substantial, and something I had noticed, the inner insert, that's really thick on there. They haven't intended these to definitely break at the joints. Really substantial here. And NORTENT have kindly sent me a second set of poles, so for particularly adverse conditions you could double pole this tent. And the good news is the LY 1, the LY 2 and the LY 3 all take the same poles, so if you had the same tent you could use poles from one tent to double pole the other one, and vice versa. Like most tunnel tents, you'd peg it out in the corner first. Each corner's reinforced with Dyneema there, and there's a substantial plastic loop, and once you've got the footprint pegged out, you can just use that as a template. This is a 30D ripstop nylon outer, lovely and silky. I wish you could feel that. The quality feels fantastic. You'll see lots of yellow flashes everywhere because there's lots of guy lines on this. This is always an interesting test. Brand new tent, how easily does the pole slide through? It's normally a little bit stiff, so not bad. And there's the usual reinforced enclosed captured end, so no wandering around the tent to put it through eyelets and stuff, which is seriously overrated. Special moment, the first time a new tent breathes life with its owner. And I want to thank NORTENT for sending me this tent, but being sent it doesn't reduce my excitement. So on the bottom here there's a substantially made double cup, branded NORTENT, and that's got like a little gripper on it at the bottom. Very thoughtful. There's a tensioner here, but already there's a lot of tension in that, so with it being a new tent, that'll slacken over time. Up we go. Wowzer. Well, for a one-man tent, this looks pretty substantial. Right, with 4 pegs only, that's gone up pretty nicely, but there's so many guide points. I mean, there's 4 on each pole side, 3 in the middle, that's 7 per side. So 14 guide points, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pegs around the bottom. Nice bit of tension in it, but just with those 4 pegs. Sorry, and the ones at the bottom as well. Okay, so this is a very quick first look. I am just going to climb inside now and give you first impressions. So what NORTENT are doing here is making a side sleeper, and what that will definitely do is help to eliminate the size of this side panel, because with a longitudinal sleeper tunnel tent, of course that leaves a large amount of material exposed, and they're trying to kind of minimize that by making it a side sleeper. Remember, this is a one-man tent, looks very livable. Okay, let's have a little look inside. So I've got Velcro on the bottom here, at the door, Velcro on the sleeve, Velcro on the top there. So there's just one central door this side, 2 door closures. The top of the door forms a vent here, and of course it's identical both sides. Oh no, I tell a lie. This one has a door here and another door here. You put this one, or you're getting in and outside, you put this side downwind. Yeah, just one door this side and 2 doors the other. So this vestibule's enormous. Oh, I can sit up in there easily. I'll be able to get changed, do what I like. I could fit, seriously, 3 70-litre backpacks in here. Okay, let's have a little look inside. You'll note that there's a little extra door bit there. Large dynamic reinforcements on the back of all the guide points. Really deep bathtub here. I mean, that's like seriously deep. I mean, how deep is it? Let's measure that. That's 22 centimeters deep, that bathtub. Nothing's getting in there. So Of course, there's a double door here that's a porthole style. A nice big pocket there to put that in. And of course, in case you didn't notice, you were in first as per normal. Wow. Before I get inside, I'm measuring the width of the vestibule. Remember, there's two, and I make that 224 centimeters, and the depth there is 97 centimeters, and the height inside here is 114 centimeters. Loads of height. Wow. I mean, this is going to make a really good, spacious winter tent. Okay, let's go back inside. So you'll see there's 4 big pockets, very large, one in each corner. And I make the internal width here around 82 centimeters. And the internal length, 227, I make that. And the internal height, 110 centimeters. Lots of space. Right, shoes off. Let's get inside. So now with both doors open, we can see the colossal space inside. You could have a kind of like a, I don't know, a full buffet out here. It's very generous. Your pulk would fit in there. Yeah, mega. What I'm testing at the moment is the Flextail Max Pump 3. Rather funky looking thing, and pretty quiet as well compared to some whining things. Right, this is a full size Nemo Tensor Extreme. Fits in there nicely. I feel like I've got a lot of space in here. Not an enormous amount of width, but certainly loads of height and space to kind of move around. With the mat pushed against the top, you can see there's space there at the bottom, a little bit of space at the side, but it's mainly occupied by the mat. And with it having vertical walls here, there's going to be no issue with head encroachment or sleeping bag encroachment. Me being 6'1", I'm kind of just nice in there. I would suggest 6'3" or above. You're definitely going to have your feet touching the ends. So there's a hanging line each side, some strong cord. Perhaps that could be adjustable. So importantly, can the dog fit in? Else it's no good to me. Come here, lie down there. Good girl. Right, we could put Honey's bed at the side at the bottom there. She'd be absolutely fine. So she's coming tonight in the Lie 2, aren't you? There's going to be plenty of space for you. The Lie 1 retails for $655. Extra poles are $40. And the footprint is $45 US. So that's around £700 if you wanted all the kit and caboodle, which for a high quality tent with those extras, in my opinion, is pretty good value for money. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at the NORTENT LY 1. I'm hoping to be out wild camping in it next weekend, and of course tonight I'm out in the NORTENT LY 2. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for a series of tests in this tent, and put your comments below what you think. So what are my first impressions of this tent? Well, it's extremely spacious but heavy, so there's always that trade-off between what you're prepared to carry and versus weight. Now recently I've been camping in the Lanshan 1, and I was praying for more space in the wet weather. So for me, in the winter or in bad weather, this is the kind of tent I'd like to be in. Space to move around, especially for the longer, darker months. We've got bags of height to cook loads of space to get changed and move around. Definitely great potential as a 4-season winter and bad weather tent, but we're going to have to wait and see how it holds up in strong wind, rain, and hopefully a bit of snow. Here we go. Here's the Lee 2 and Lee 1 together. So you can see that Lee 1 is pretty much what looks like one section of the Lee 2. Very, very similar, but keep watching because there's a really neat trick that's in development but rather special. What do you think? Yeah, so the guys were just saying, like many people's impressions, that there's a lot of vestibule but not much in it. But I think it's a case of rethinking how you'd use a tent. So that would be your sleeping space, and either side would be kind of like living, storage, dog, pork, folding bike even. What would you put in there?
I don't know, the jury's out for me.
Yeah, I think it is for a lot of people with this tent. It's very, very different. The Lee 2, I think it's easier to get your head around it, you know, with that big space in the middle, vestibule either side. But yeah, let's do this neat trick. Right, this is them in summer mode. Imagine having the door back here. You've got a fantastic communal area there. And Andy's just pointed out what would work really well is you could maybe have them a little bit closer together and have a tarp in between. And you'd have sleeping areas here. You could shut up at night and have a lovely communal area in the middle. But watch this. Just move the little one. I'll take it out here, just slide it along.
Baby bells, how many let me get them again?
Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Say when.
Yeah. Oh, that's cracking, that like. That's really good fun, that.
Pretty cool.
I really like that idea.
Well, you can see what we've done there is butted both tents straight up against one another, and that makes an absolutely enormous space. Look at that all the way through there. So that is a enormous 3-man space. Now you could simply put a tarp over the top. The guys are holding it there, but you could just guy that out crossways and it would be secure because the gang points are right on the periphery there. Or, since everything's at the same height, you could just clip them together with a small carabiner. But I don't know if I should be telling you this, but NORTENT are developing a dedicated sleeve to go over the top there to make it a modular system. Okay, nice one.